Reactions That Rock. I am Seth, but you already knew that, so we're just gonna get right into this. Y'all have been telling me I talk too much anyway, which seems a little odd since I'm supposed to. But anyway, that's just me. I trust you. I'm putting my faith in you. You will never steer me wrong. So today I'm checking out a band that I have never heard of before called The Funeral Portrait. I actually just had to look down and double check to make sure because I'd like to get it right every now and then. The song is called Dark Thoughts, so I think we've all had those. You see me checking it again? Yeah. I've never heard of any of this, so I have to double check to make sure I get it right. Maybe someday I'll put something up here that you can't see so I don't have to do this and just break eye contact and break all the cardinal rules of YouTube. But until that day happens, you gotta deal with this. This is what you get right now and probably in perpetuity, so there's that. Yay! You should be very, very excited. Anyway, I'm just going to jump right into it. It's my understanding that this falls under the rock genre. I don't know if this is like that kind of new sappy rock that has been coming out, or if there's going to be some kids banging on some xylophones, or if this is going to be like hard rock or metal or goth. The Funeral Portrait kind of sounds like they may be a little dark and edgy, or at least they want us to think they are. So we're going to just fire it right up and see what the hell I'm listening to today. I'm listening to logos. And birds. This already reminds me of 1980s greatest video game, Paperboy. If you know, you know, and if you don't, man, I feel so bad for you. That's fun.
Can't draw, can't drown them away. Can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts in my mind. Can't drink, can't drug, can't drown them away. Can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts in my mind. There's a heavy on this mind. There's a weight behind these eyes. What if I can't stop the rising tide above the undertow?
I kind of wish the snapping was still going. I felt like the Sharks and the Jets were just going to get it on right there. Again, I'm old, but if you know, you know, and if you don't, again, I feel sorry for you. It's kind of a hip emo, like upbeat emo. I'm kind of digging it so far, and I love videos and songs that have, like, stories. I've said this 1,000 times, or at least however many videos I've done by now times, and this has a story. I don't know where my subtitles are, though. They're supposed to be up here. I'm guessing maybe we don't have closed captions in this. Fortunately, I can understand what the dude is saying, so we might be able to do a little lyrical analysis, too.
Do you see me down below, sinking slow, wondering how much deeper I can go? Can't drink, can't drug, can't drown them away. Can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts in my mind. Oh, oh, my head is a prison. No one ever visits. It's just you and me. Till the end, waiting on my sentence. If I find an exit, will you still follow me?
I'm just gonna say real quick, this is almost too upbeat and happy for a guy having dark thoughts. I don't necessarily dislike that because that doesn't hurt to listen to the radio and be, leave in a good mood. But I have a hard time believing he's got really, really dark thoughts unless he's kind of doing that whole sad clown thing where he's pretending he's happy and upbeat, but his brain is just telling him some really messed up stuff. I don't know. It's poppier and more upbeat than I thought we were gonna get into.
It's just you and me till the end, waiting out my sentence. If I find an exit, will you still follow me? To kill and I create, to keep those that bad. You know I've tried a million times, but they still find a way to cage me.
I like the dude's rock and roll mullet.
Can't drug, can't drown 'em away. Can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts. These dark, dark thoughts. Oh, my head is a prison. No one ever visits. It's just you and
That looks like the Joker and Catwoman mixed together.
waiting out my sentence.
You're welcome.
If I find an exit, will you still follow me?
Is that it? He looks like he wants to sing something else. Okay, yeah, that was here's what this was, and I'm gonna throw it all for you right now in the greatest little nutshell condensed version that you will ever hear a human being explain. What this video was, what this song was do you remember Panic at the Disco? I chimed in with Haven't You People Ever? That, like the happy, not happy wedding song. This is the exact same thing like 30 years later when somebody dies. This is like the Panic at the Disco funeral song. Because it really just had that upbeat, happy vibe with dark undertones. Yeah, you're welcome. I hope that's stuck in your head for months. Anyway, I did not dislike this. I had no idea what this was going into it. I've never heard of the Funeral Portrait. I'm not gonna lie, the name of the band led me to believe we were really dark. You hear funeral, like if there was a band that came out and they were like the Rotting Corpses, you'd be like, oh yeah, they're gonna be dark. So Funeral Portrait, if you don't know, that's like back in the old days, the medieval times, when like the king would die. As he was dead, an artist would come in and like draw him so they could remember, cameras didn't exist. We couldn't just yank out our cell phones and take a dead king selfie or nothing. But, which, by the way, band name, Dead King Selfie. Somebody get on that. Anyway, so Funeral Portrait, that's what it was. It was like the picture of the painting that was done when you were dead. So I kind of thought that this would have a little bit more of a dark, sinister, ominous tone, and instead I got like some really like upbeat rock mullet. I like it. It's catchy. I'm going to be singing it. I'm a little bummed that the story kind of filtered out. It just what looked like we were gonna have like some weird like insane asylum type story happening just kind of ended up being 90% band shots with the dude's like backlit mullet. But it is what it is. It's still not a bad video. They just said directed by somebody, so somebody directed it. It wasn't just like they set up cameras on a tripod in their basement like a weirdo and just hit record and went with it. I don't know who would do that. Anyway, overall, I dig it. Is it the greatest song I've ever heard? No. This falls, and I'm sorry if you're like a diehard fan of the Funeral Portrait. To me, this falls under the category of fantastic filler rock and roll. Like, if you're listening to the radio or you're at a concert or something and this song comes on, you're not changing the channel, you're not walking away, you're letting it ride, but you're probably not like throwing down either. And to me, that's kind of where this falls in. It was a good, solid tune. It's radio friendly. It's not bad for what it is. I'd be very, very interested in checking out more from these guys and seeing if they do go down a little bit and get kind of sad and murky and dark, or if it's all kind of like upbeat, because this was almost like emo punk. And I just popped my P there because I almost said punk emo. Punk! This was almost punk. And yes, I'm popping my P's. Yeah, you're welcome for that too. Anyway, tangent. We do that a lot around here. So, overall, can't complain about it. Enjoyable. Yes, it was fun. Rock and Roll Mullet is here to stay. I dig it. Can't complain about that either. I'm not walking away miserable. So overall, it's a good song. And you know what? For that kind of genre, for that radio-friendly rock punch, it works for me. So I'll dig it. I'll stick with it. I'll keep it. I'll shove it somewhere and pull it out when I need to feel upbeat and down at the exact same time. And until that time, go ahead and hit those like buttons if you've enjoyed this. If you really enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe. We do a lot more of these. My goal is like 7 a week. You know how goals work. Sometimes we hit them and sometimes we miss them completely. But that's what I'm aiming for anyway. 1 a day. It's lofty, I know, but I'm a lofty kind of guy. And as you may or may not know if you've been sticking to the end, I've been wrapping these up with a different saying every time I do this. It's a challenge I've given myself, and I've had some people send me comments and emails telling me, hey, you should say this or you should say that. I'm also pulling from my experience as a rock radio DJ what some of my peers used to sign off with, some really cheesy things they used to say. But I'm actually going to take from a subscriber who said that I should sign off with this tonight. So here we go. I'm heading on out of here, and until we see each other again, Lego my ego.